Okay, here's your mid-chapter quiz review. There's 10 problems, okay. The first one, you're graphing the equation. Using slope and y-intercept. Okay, number one's easy. Okay, it's going to be y equals negative 4x minus 2. Number two, I'm doing the same thing, but that's a little bit more complicated. 2x minus 4y equals negative 16. Now in this document, I provided you with a multiplication chart, okay? Because with graphs, you don't want slopes as decimals. You want to reduce them as fractions. Okay, so make a wall on your y side, and the y is by itself here. So that means I know m and b right away. So slope, y-intercept. So the slope is negative 4, the y-intercept is negative 2. So you plot your y-intercept first. So from the middle, negative 1, negative 2. And that's point number 1. Okay, let's get a bunch of other points. That's where my slope comes into play. A slope needs to be a fraction. You're going to put it over 1 if it's not. Okay, so you're going to go forward 1, down 4. You always go forward with the bottom. Even if the top's negative, you go forward. Forward 1, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, if I run out of room, that's fine. Okay, I'll just go with 2 points. And that's your first line. Okay. So anywhere on that line are coordinates that make the y equal to negative 4 times x plus negative 2. Okay, number 2, a little bit different story. The y is not by itself, okay? So what you want to do is dot the y and circle it. Make it plus negative. That's what I'm trying to get by itself. Now, if your y is negative, the dot number, the negative 4, you don't want that negative, okay? So you make it positive, and then the outsides also go to opposite. So 2x will go negative, and since 16 is negative, it needs to go positive, okay? That's the first thing. That has to be positive, okay? Now, add your 2x. Now you need an x over here, so you make your own. You put plus 0x and add 2x there. So you line up your sign, and the next part you can't mess up. You put x first, and you take 0 plus 2, that's 2, and then plus your 16. Then you divide all 3 of these by 4. No decimals, though. If I have to graph, I don't want any decimals. Okay, so 2 divided by 4. That's a decimal, so we keep it as 2 over 4x. 16 divided by 4 is also 4. Is 4. Okay. Now I have it to match what's up there. Okay, I have the m and the b. So again, let me run you through that process. You make a wall on the y side, you dot it, circle it. If you have a negative in there, you need to switch signs on everything in the whole equation. Okay. Then you move that here, you add it or subtract it, make a 0 so you have a place to add it, put the x first, and then divide everything by my 4. That's a decimal, I keep it as a fraction. So slope, y-int. So the y-intercept is plus 4. There's point number 1. Okay, my slope, 2 over 4. So forward 4 up 2. Now you could look at your multiplication table, okay? You can go with 2 over 4. You can look at your multiplication table. Those are both in the second row. So if you wanted to divide them each by 2, it would be 1/2. But the line's going to look the same whether I do that or this. Because I'll go up 2, forward, do it again. 2, 1, 2. So make it as straight as you possibly can. Okay. Now I'm going to explain why doing the 1 over 2 would also work. You got to do you. Because from that point, if I go up 1, forward 2, that's the same line. Up 1, forward 2, up 1, forward. See, it's just the same line. Whether you reduce it or not, it doesn't really matter. Okay, the line's graphed regardless. Okay, that's 1 and 2. Numbers 3 and 4. You're looking at graphs, and you need to write the equation. Now the lines are, you write the equation. So y equals blank x plus blank mb. Remember, m is the slope and b is the y-intercept. Now when you have a graph, you want to find your b first because it's the easiest to find. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, make a point there, circle it, label that point number 1, and that's up 4, so it would be positive 4. Okay, then going forward, find another point, okay, where it's right on the line. Right there is good, okay. Remember what a slope is. It's rise over run, okay. Now you're like, y minus y, x minus x. Yeah, that's not with a graph, okay. You want to go measure your triangle. So I have to go up 2, so positive 2 is the rise, okay. 3 is a run, 1, 2, 3. Now if you look at 2 and 3 on your multiplication table, the only place they are is in the first row. So you can divide them by 1, but it's really pointless because it just ends up the same. Now if it's a 4 and a 6, I'd divide them by 2, but 2/3. Okay, number 4. Same idea. Now you're getting the equation. Y is blank x plus blank. So this is your m, this is your b. So slope and y, remember m is the slope, b is the y-intercept. So it should be easy to find the y-intercept. You just label it y, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, now we need a second point. This is going to be our point number 1. Then I go forward, and that's point 2. Start at point 1, okay? So the slope is rise over run. So the rise would have to go down, so I count by negatives. -1, -2. So -2 is the rise. And the run, 1, 2, 3. Okay, look at your multiplication table. 2 and 3 are only in the first row, so you can divide them by 1, but it's still -2 over 3. The m's need to be reduced on the multiplication table when you're writing it. Okay, if you have to actually graph it, I don't really care. Okay, but so forth. Okay, now we get into the non-graphing problems. Number 5. The cost of tickets is $36 for 3 people and $84 for 7 people. Okay. Okay, it says find the rate of change in each situation. A table helps. So set up an XY table, and you got dollars and people. Well, dollars has to be Y and people's X. Now just put those values where they go. So $36, 3 people. Don't do the 0, 1, 2. That's not for this problem. Okay. Then $84 for 7 people. Okay, to find a rate of change, you start at the bottom, and it's the Y change divided by the X change. If you get that, you'll be good. You start at 84 and minus. It's like Y minus Y, but start at the bottom. Okay, $48. So $48 on top. Then 7 minus 4, 7 minus 3 is 4 people. So you're going to have 4 people on bottom. So 48 divided by 4 is 12. Now you need to label that. You just put dollars, people, or person. Okay. If you put people, that's fine too. That's the rate of change. So if there'd be an 8th person, that would I'd add 12. 9th, add another 12. That's how you find the rate of change. Your table helps, okay? And then it's actually, if you just want to go Y minus Y, X minus X, that might work too, okay? So here's your X and Y, okay? you'd start at the higher x, so you'd go 7 on bottom with 84 on top, then 3 on bottom with 36 on top. That ends up being 48 over 4, maybe dollars, people, then divide, you get 12. Yeah, why don't you do that? Just label it x, y, then y minus y, x minus x. Okay, number 6, write an equation with the following information. Okay, number 6, slope equals -4, y-intercept equals 6. So you're writing the equation without looking at a graph. Okay, same thing, MB. But you don't see the graph. So M is your slope, -4. B is your y-intercept, be 6. And there's your answer. Y equals, if you're typing it up on a document, it'd be y equals -4x plus 6. Okay. You don't need to type it with the blanks. I don't need to see the M and the B in the answer. Okay. Number 7, slope equals -4, and then it gives me one of the solutions on the line, one of the infinite amount, -1, 3. My pen's dying. Okay. Hold on a sec. Okay, so y equals blank x plus blank, so MB. So M is the slope, B is the y-intercept. So slope -4. Y-intercept, y equals M times x plus B. So M is -4, and then we'll put 3 for y, -1 for x. So 3, line up your plus, put your B first. -4 times -1 is 4. Get rid of your plus 4. So -4, -1 would equal B. There's your equation, okay? Number 8, you're trying to accomplish the same thing in the end, but the information they give you is different. So solutions, we have 10, -5, and -5, 1. So it's x with y, x with y. So MB. So M is the slope, and B is the y-intercept. Okay, we don't even get the slope, so it's y minus y, x minus x. Okay, so start with your higher x. 10's obviously higher than -5, so we're going to have -5 over 10, and then 1 over -5. So it'd be -5 plus -1, and then 10's positive plus 5. So that's going to give us -6 over 15. Even if that's a decimal, that's fine. The slope can be a decimal as long as you don't have to graph it, okay? -0.4, that can be your M, okay? Then B, y equals M times x plus B. So M is -0.4. Now x and y, you can pick one of these two, it doesn't matter. Let's pick 1 for y and then -5 for x. So write your plus with your b and then take -0.4 times -5. That would give me 2. Remember, you don't have to put the 1 in front of the b, you just circle the b, get your 2 out of there by adding or subtracting. -1 equals b. Okay, then we got story problems. A golf course has a $100 registration fee. Members must then pay $10 per round of golf. How much will 8 rounds cost? So this is number 9. We're trying to find the cost. So we have dollars and rounds. Now X cannot be the money, it would have to be the rounds. Y is money. So dollars per round. Okay, dollars per round's 10. So 10 times X. Now, go make your table. So y is money, okay? Rounds is X. Now, since I know the dollars per round, I'd order this 0, 1, 2 and block it, okay? It's not like problem number 5, okay? See, number 5, you're trying to find the per yourself, okay? When you already have the per, when you make your table, you go 0 to 1 to 2. Okay, so before the 10, I see $100, so that's your starting amount. Then I start adding 10 every time there's a one round. So 110 plus 10, 120, and it goes on. We'll go under the block here in a second. So your line, so we know we have 10 times X. And then we had 100 was the first number we added 10 to. Okay. So I have 100 plus 10 times X equals Y. Now the moment of truth. This is why you have the table. It says 8 rounds. So you put 8 under the rounds. That means X equals 8. So since X has a times dot, you want to put it in parentheses and put 8. So we have 100 plus 10 times parentheses 8 equals Y. Now what letter is there now? Y. Make a wall. Oh, Y is by itself, so I put the word calc. That means just calculate it, and then Y is solved for. So 100 plus 10 times 8, 180. So dollars, 180, okay? 8 rounds cost $180. Okay, number 10, last one. A dance academy charges a registration fee of $15. It also charges $24 per class. A student paid a total of $687. Find the number of classes the student took. Okay, so you have dollars and classes. Okay, so X has to be classes, Y is money, so per. Dollars per class. Dollars per class is 24. That's your rate of change. So since we know the per, to make the table with the per, put the labels where they belong. Classes is X. 0, 1, 2, because I know what number to add every time. What's the opening number is 15. Then when you take one class, you add $24. That's 39. Take another class, add 24 again, that's 64. No, 63, my bad, 63. So the ladder, the slope is 24 times X. The first number you added 24 to is 15. So 15 plus 24 times X equals Y. Because that's equation is written, okay? Okay, then $687. Okay, that goes in the dollars column right there. Okay, so that means Y now equals 687, not X. That's what that table's there for. Okay, now Y doesn't have a multiplication dot, so you just put 687 over the Y. Okay, so 15 plus 24 times X equals 687. Now what letter do I have remaining? X. Make a wall. X ain't by itself, so it's not a calculate problem, okay? Dot it. It's already dotted, so circle it. Minus 15. So 24 times X. 687 minus 15 is 672. Then divide by 24. That's 28. So you'd be going a long time. Now, 28's a long ways from 2, but 687's a long way away from 63. So that makes perfect sense.